Hey everybody, let's see, it's Wednesday, April 8th, and I've got some more things fit for you to do in your home to keep moving, keep the crazies out, and give you something to do. I know that everybody has lots to do, but I think now that we're all kind of stuck in our homes, we've got more time to move and more time to exercise. So that's an important thing, to keep moving. It's good for keeping your depression at bay. It's good to keep the crazies out. It's good to just give you a boost. So let's get moving. We're going to start today with some warm-ups. So I'll tilt you back here. And we're going to, making sure my screen's working, just do some low jacks like we've done in the past. Get you moving. Get all of your muscles, your arms, your shoulders, your legs, your hips, your core, everything just kind of waking up. If you're going to do this right away when you get up in the morning, or if you're going to do it later in the day, one way you can do it is to get out, go for a hike, go for a walk, go for a bike ride, with safe social distancing, of course. It's getting harder and harder to find quiet places to go. We're lucky around here, we don't see many people at all. Okay, after you've done this for a minute or two, we'll go down to the floor. I've got an exercise ready to go. So we're going to do a combination chest fly and leg lift. So you've all done leg lifts in the gym, and a lot of you have done chest flies of one sort or another. So I want you to lie on your back, keep one knee bent to protect your back, and we're going to do the leg lifts with the left leg to start. Remember, you want to keep it within this range of motion. Don't touch your foot down, and then only bring it up as high as your other knee. And as you lift and lower that, you're going to add that chest fly. So only doing one really requires your core to fire and this cross section here to really engage. Now you might want to keep this left hand out here for support. If you feel like this is too much, grab a lighter weight. This is going to be quite a bit harder than doing two chest flies at once, requiring your core to engage and keeping your back flat on that ground. Okay, after you've done about 10, we'll switch. So bend this knee up to support your back. I didn't mention this in the first one, but remember to flatten that back into the floor before you get started with this. It's a tendency to want to lift that leg higher doing this way. So remember to keep that leg in that smaller range of motion. Start lighter than you think for a normal chest fly, because this stabilization is pretty harder than you would think. Okay, next, step ups. So I have a step here at home, but I'm going to show you how you can do it if you don't have a step. So you can either use like the bottom stair of your staircase, or your front step outside going into your door. I have a step stool that I'm going to use that we've had around for the kids forever. The important part is to make sure you do this somewhere where you can hang on for balance if you do lose your balance. So I'm just going to put this here and use this to step up and down off of. So my entire foot doesn't really fit on it. You've all heard me say try to get your whole foot up on that step. And I think the most important part, if you aren't able to find, if you don't have a specific step in your home like we do in the gym, make sure you get your whole heel up on there. So that's where most of your weight is going through that heel. So make sure you get that. You don't want to be stepping here and lose your balance. You want to make sure that you have a good, sturdy step as you go up and down. So do 10 on one side and then switch, and we'll do 10 on the other. If this hurts your knees, switch each time. I know some of you switch each time to give your knees a break. If you need to, you can find something shorter than this. This is not very tall, but it's still doing this. It's still doing the job. It's working my quads, step up, and then down with that same foot. It's working my quads. It's getting my heart rate up, working those glutes. Remember, you want to do 10 on each side and then switch. Okay, now I'm going to got to refresh my screen. Okay, we're going to do bicep curls into shoulder press. So I'm going to raise this up just a tad and grab my weights over here. Remember when you grab your weights to be careful with your back, wherever you keep them. If you keep them on the floor, if you keep them on a weight rack, wherever you keep them, that is typically where people can hurt their backs, is that transition period. So use your good proper positioning, bending your knees, keeping your core tight. Okay, so I just want you to start with your feet shoulder width apart. We're going to do bicep curl into shoulder press. Come back down. You want to keep a good strong core throughout this. Now, if you're able to add a little bit of instability, try this in a tandem stance. Once you reach your arms up over your head, also, it can have a little bit of, or cause a little bit of strain on your low back. So if you have that going on, or if you know you're going to before you start, do this in a chair. Just sit down. Then when you do press overhead, you've got that support. Keep those abs nice and strong. Breathe all the way through. I have no idea how many we've done. So stop when you get to 10 or 12. Or if you don't have heavy enough weights at home for this to be challenging, go nice and slow and do a few more. So sometimes it feels better to do 20 if you don't have like your normal weight that you would use in the gym. Okay, I'm gonna set these down over here. Now we're gonna do a plank. So we're gonna start on your elbows. I'm gonna start on my elbows. And coming down to the floor, the important part here is to think about keeping your elbows directly below your shoulders and keeping your shoulders down. So you can start on your knees or up on your toes. So the goal here is to hold this for about 30 seconds. So you can do this on your elbows or up on your hands. A lot of people have wrist pain when they do this. So there's a few different ways you can do a plank on your hands. You can grab dumbbells and hold them that way, and that feels better on your wrists. Or you can grab some pillows and put them so that your wrists are facing a little bit away from you. We talked about this the other day, but grabbing those dumbbells or just simply doing them on your fists like this. I have some people that do that. I think that's harder. I don't like the way that feels on my knuckles. But find a way that works for you so that just if it's the wrists that are the hard thing, there are ways that we can work with that. So let me know. Okay, next we're gonna do a pike hold. And if you do have a Bosu, bring it out. If you don't, you can do this on the floor too. But this is something you can use your Bosu for. So sitting up on that ball, up on the Bosu, and I just want you to lean back. You can find where it's comfortable for you to sit on there. Lean back, lift your feet up, and do a pike hold. Now, you can start here by just picking your feet up and putting your hands here for support. Or the next phase is to lift both up and then If this feels easy, you can straighten out those knees. I'm tired. I've done a few videos. Okay, so wherever you are, the point is to keep this back nice and straight, keeping that core strong. If you start to have back pain, come out of it, lean back on here, and then just pick your feet up. So there's a whole array of ways that you can do this. And if you don't have a Bosu, you can do it on the ground. The Bosu makes it, I think the Bosu helps because this one can hurt my tailbone, but you can sit on a pillow or you can sit on some sort of a pad that you might have in your house, but you can do it like this on the ground as well. It's the same exercise. Okay, the last one we're going to end with is airplane holds. So we're going to do a good balance exercise. You want to find some place where you can hang on. So a railing or your kitchen counter works pretty well if you have the space to do what we're going to do. I think you should. I'm going to use my treadmill as my counter. So we'll move the step. And what I want you to do is you can either face the counter. Typically people don't have that much room in their kitchen, or stand alongside it. And we're going to stand on one leg and tilt forward and put your arms out to the side like you're an airplane. So the goal is to just hold that position for about 30 seconds. If you have to keep coming out of it, that's okay. Just keep working on it for about 30 seconds. Keeping a nice flat back. If this feels really easy to you, make sure that your hand is really close to where you're hanging on, and try closing your eyes. So I'm going to put my hand on here and close my eyes, and then just let go so that I know that it's right there. And this is only if this is really easy for you. If it's not, don't do that. Okay, so then we'll switch sides. Just pretend you're an airplane. Nobody can get on an airplane right now. Well, you can, but it's not very smart. So we'll just pretend we're an airplane. You can even zoom if you want. Make this fun. Make your family wonder what the heck you're doing. Another way to just keep losing your balance is keep talking. You can talk to somebody across the room. I keep losing my balance because I'm talking. Talk, look around the room. All right, work on that for about 30 seconds. Okay, we'll go through these one more time. So I'm going to bring this down for that chest fly and leg lift. So this time I'm going to start with my left arm and right leg. Arms straight out. Nice and slow. Like I said, if you choose a weight that feels like too much, stop and just grab a lighter one. If you don't have a weight that is light enough, grab a can of soup, grab a water bottle. There's lots of different ways you can make it work in your house. Remember to keep breathing. I don't know how many I did. I think I just did 10. All right, now we're going to switch sides. Remember, before you start, flatten that back into that mat. Arm out to the side. Sometimes just keeping your hand at that back can remind you to keep that back flat. If you can't keep your back flat while you're doing this, grab a lighter weight. Hi, Sage. You want to come in and say hi? No. Okay. All right. Chest fly, leg lift. Opposite. Step ups. Okay. Grab your step wherever it may be in your house. Make sure you're next to something where you can hang on for support. And we'll go up and down. I'm going to Move my camera just a little. Remember, you want a good base of support. Stepping up with that whole foot. One way you can challenge this, if this feels pretty easy to you, is you can either do more, obviously, or you can grab weights and hold them while you do this. A better way, so that you can continue to hang on, but another way to work your core is, and I'm going to switch along with your legs that you're doing right now, is to grab a weight in one hand. So similar to the farmer carry we did the other day, by holding a weight in one hand, it challenges you to use your core and stabilize. And it's actually a little bit more functional too, because generally when we carry bags, we don't always have equal weights in both hands. We'll typically carry a bunch in one hand so we can use our other hand for doors and things like that. Okay, step ups. Next we'll do biceps into shoulder press. And refresh my screen. So I've got my weights here. I'm going to do this in a tandem stance. Biceps, shoulder press, down. I feel like maybe we did this the other day. I'm starting to lose track of some of the exercises we're doing, but doing them in different combinations. And you could even do the same exercise routine 3 days in 1 week. Just if you do that, if you find one that you really like, don't do it back to back. Don't do it one day after. Give yourself a day in between. You've got to give those muscles time to rebuild, time to rest before doing the same workout again. I don't know how many I've just done. We'll call this 9 and 10. All right, slowly all the way down, letting those biceps go all the way straight, your elbows go all the way straight, and going slowly through those. All right, plank. This time I'm going to do it on my hands. Actually, this time I'm going to do it on an elevated surface to show you another way to give you, to make it a little bit easier. So if you have, I'm going to raise that up. If you don't have a bench in your house, that's okay. A coffee table or a chair works really well for this. So just into a plank, just like this. You can even put your hands over the edge of the coffee table or on the sides of the chair like this. So if this was my chair seat, this can help with wrist pain if you do have wrist pain with a plank. So you can do this on an elevated surface to make it a little easier, or do it on the floor for added difficulty. Do it on your elbows or your hands. If you have any difficulty with those, just let me know and I can give you other ideas too. Okay, Pike Hold. If you have a Bosu, go ahead and grab it. Sit right. I usually sit a little bit forward. Tubby came to help. He's been sitting in the corner watching. He's having a hard time not being pet. All right, Pike Hold. Another way to make the time go faster is to just pet your dog while you're doing this. Kids, dogs, lots of interruptions, but you can still get it done even with interruptions. Remember, if you're having back pain, put those feet down, restart. You can even just lift up your feet, just holding that good abdominal contraction. Okay, we're going to end with airplane holds. So, get you back over here. I'll move my step. And this time I'm going to start with my I don't remember which one I started with last time. But we'll lean forward. Try to keep a nice straight line from your heel all the way through the top of your head. Tubby is definitely one that is happy that we are home all the time, except that I don't think he gets his normal amount of sleep when we're all around. Okay, after you've done that one for about 30 seconds, then we'll switch. I'm going to come out here a little bit. Remember, you want to do this somewhere where you can hang on to something sturdy if you do lose your balance. You can always come out of it, but you don't want to fall over. One way to make this a little more challenging if you need it is to raise your arms up over your head. So then you have sort of a straight line. And this is more like an airplane maybe. These are your wings. This is your nose dive or something. Okay. Good job, everybody. Shoot me a message if you need any adjustments to this or if you have any questions. Remember, I had a couple suggestions for today, so we're trying those. And yeah, hang in there, everybody. Stay safe and keep moving, keep exercising, keep doing something to keep out those crazies. All right, let me know if there's anything any of you need. I miss you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.